Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I don't even know what. I've given up on trying to check the episodes.
It is the April 2019 episode. Okay, is that good enough for all of you fuckers out
Well,
there?
hold on. It would be the. I believe it's the 8th episode.
I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly, the way that. It's my fault, the way I've numbered these.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to repeat what AJ just said. It is AJ's fault. Thank you. We're good. Cut the lights.
It's my fault for the way I numbered these because it gets confusing. But, yeah, so it's the April episode 8 of the SWW show. Breaking news. As of an hour ago when we're recording this, the newest Minecraft update removes mentions of Notch.
I saw that story. I was gonna talk to you about that. So I understand people don't like Notch now. But, like, at the same time, he did create the project.
Understandable, but at what point do you, since he sold it off, right? It's not even like he has no ties to it anymore. At what point do you just cut that out? Like,
so here's the question though, and I'm gonna give a parallel, which I know you have opinions on it, but at what point do you cut Stan Lee's name out of Marvel movies? You never will. That's it's like that type of, like, Stan Lee is gonna be executive producer of Marvel movies for the rest of time.
No, he won't.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think he can. I'm pretty sure executive producers have to be alive.
Have to be alive. Okay, you act like executive producer credits aren't bullshit in Hollywood half the time.
Well, okay, so executive producers are one of two things normally. Either it's an actor that in their contract they said they're going to be an executive producer, and usually what that means is that they are taking a smaller hit up front. So they're getting paid less to do the movie, but they're getting paid more in residuals. Because really the producers are the ones that make money when a movie sells, not the actors. Right. So, because I guess, okay, so I should explain it for those who don't know. Producers are the ones that fund movies. So when you see a list of like 18 different producers, everyone on that list has funded the movie in a considerable fashion. And it's also why you'll see 9 different companies at the beginning of a movie for their title cards.
Especially when China's involved.
Well, no, because usually when China's involved, it's usually only the... Which one is it? You know the one I'm talking about, and then...
It's like, they finance Transformers, they finance Turtles, like, there's that one action company. I know exactly what you're talking. I have no clue what it is, but I know exactly.
And then it's the production company that's distributing the movie. So...
And that's when it gets wonky, pending what region and some movies and all that.
Yeah, that's honestly why you'll see a bunch of title cards, is because if the movie's being distributed globally, all the distributors have to get in. Hollywood's weird in that way. But
speaking of that, you know what's interesting too that happened officially since we last talked?
What?
The House of Mouse is now the House of the Fox also. That is officially moved through. Fox is officially a child of Disney. Isn't it like, it's like some weird name now, like it came up with it. It was like the 20th Century Disney Company or something weird. It's like the official title.
If that's the case, then they went in as a partnership, not as...
And technically, Disney is the owner because all my stocks changed to Disney stocks. So I know Disney is the head technically, but I think they renamed the company. I thought they renamed like the top company.
Maybe they did. Maybe they bought the way that their purchase agreement was. They did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't necessarily a merger. It was more of a
Because everyone even is still talking about it like Disney did like as much as it is like a merger, it's still Disney is the one that is king.
yeah.
It's not like we had something like what was it, Comcast and Warner Brothers, where inherently that was much more an actual merger.
Yeah. Hey, for the first time, it's not my dogs that are ruining the recording.
Hey, I at least know. I at least hit my mute button on the recording half. Thank you. Yeah, I can't find the name, but I thought it was some weird. I thought, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard something about some level of a name. Yeah, that's officially a thing. We officially are close to our Disney overlords. Pretty soon, we'll be all fed in the mouse ears, and we all understand they'll be.
Did you see the leaked episode 9 poster?
No, wait. Do you know what's exciting though? Do you know where Star Wars Celebration is this year?
I honestly have no idea.
Chicago. Star Wars Celebration's in Chicago.
Where are they having it?
McCormick Place, I think. We fit C2E2 there. We could fit Star Wars there.
Well, I was just trying to figure out because normally I do a lot of stuff outside.
But McCormick is big, is giant, and it's right by like Soldier Field, so it's like kind of a major part. Like again, C2E2's there, which is a major convention.
Yeah.
So now we've talked about Disney. We're entering the news. AJ, have you seen or played anything interesting?
Hold on, we're not done with the news.
Oh, we're not done? Oh, fuck.
Not done with the news. Not when I'm still on Twitter.
I'm terrified.
Judgment sold through 97% of its stock.
Like the Japanese game that's banned. We didn't talk about it being banned either.
Well, it was banned, but not banned. It was banned in Japan.
That's what I mean. It's banned in Japan because the drug laws are fucking crazy, and someone got into the white powder.
They replaced the entire actor for most of the Japanese.
You know what's more important too? That guy plays Olaf in Frozen in Japan.
Good.
So, like, stuff like Kingdom Hearts 3, they're repatching in a different voice actor also. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, but you have to remember that the Japanese culture is based upon honor.
Yeah.
So this is a very dishonorable thing to do.
But it's so interesting that, like, can you imagine, like, in America, if every time that someone did cocaine, how many actors we'd have to replace in everything?
Yeah. I guess it would be more like,
Bill Cosby.
well, I was going to say Bill Cosby or like a Michael Jackson or, I don't know.
But one of those, I think, is, like, the kind of the equivalent, but, like, we just own it, but, like, we still kind of sell... Like, Bill Cosby, we don't sell shit anymore, but, like, Michael Jackson, like, his music's still for sale.
Yeah.
And that's why I go, I don't know. It's weird because Japan is so much more honor than America's in that way of, like, they're like, no, we're just going to stop sales. In America, the people who release the statement being like, well, it kind of sucks. They're not being for the sequel, but we're not going to stop selling the shit.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about it. I've heard Judgment's actually decently good.
I've heard meddling things. It's the same map as Yakuza 6.
Okay.
Well, it's the Kamurocho. So it's not the full map, but it's the same Kamurocho, some of the same businesses and stuff, but yeah. I mean,
isn't it that first team's game, like, not Yakuza game in years?
it's the first non-Yakuza game in a very, very long time, yes.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's like, I thought it's been like they've just been the Yakuza team, basically.
Which, when you think about it, right, they had 5-0, Kiwami 2, 6. So that's 5 games in the past 6 years.
That's a great turnout. Some of them, I think, my understanding is were a little bit easier than others, and like were made in parallel. But yeah, that's still a great like time wise game of like pop, 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 pop.
Well, you have to think though, like 5 is on a different engine from 0. They
Yeah.
ported Yakuza 1 to the Yakuza 0 engine,
Mm-hmm.
which has, I don't know, did you ever play Yakuza 0?
No, I've seen it though.
It's got a system where you can change fight styles mid-fight.
Okay.
So they had to change all that around because the original Yakuza, well, up until 0, it was basically one fight style and more or less button mash. There were combos and stuff you could do, but it was pretty button mashy. But so then they had to change one and balance it around this new fighting style. I haven't played Kiwami 2 yet, which is
Okay.
definitely one on my list to play. 6 is a whole new engine, which I believe Kiwami 2 is on the 6th engine.
That sounds right to
So
me.
they did, I believe, they've done 3 different engines in that time period.
That's actually insane.
Because I want to say 4 and 5 are on the same engine. 0's on its own engine. Kiwami is on the 0 engine. Kiwami 2 is on the 6 engine, and 6 is on its own engine.
God, I could like, and I know realistically from the inside, like there's probably changes in the engines, but like a lot of the workflow is similar. But still, that has to be such a whiplash for devs that keep jumping.
I just, yeah, can't imagine.
Like there are times I've jumped between like Unity and Unreal, and there I still have to stop and be like, okay, because one of the big things is I assume roughly you understand like a 3D plane. There's X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
coordinates. In Unity and Unreal, the Y and Z is flipped. So when I'm writing code, I have to think which engine I'm in.
Sounds weird, but
Which is what's weirder is so Maya is like the default 3D model tool. It uses the same argument that Unreal does, and Unity's over in it. We'll call it America land with the Imperial system. So yeah, it's real fun to be like, what am I doing right now?
yeah.
At least X stays the same, because if they flipped all three, all bets would be off.
Did you
Yeah.
see? Sorry, I'm going through my Twitter feed. Uh, Kenny Omega's documentary on TSN is out.
No, I did not. How is it?
I haven't watched it yet. I saw his interview on TSN.
He was at C2E2, I thought. 'Cause that was this past weekend. I know a lot of the AEW people were.
I I'm gonna
I
say maybe because um yes. Oh, and they I
What?
the way that they did this, I don't know if I'll be able to quickly. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was.
You
He
know,
was there. He was
okay.
there Friday
I
and
thought I
Saturday.
saw like so. I thought I saw social media buzz about like a bunch of random AEW people.
I was worried the way that they did this, I wouldn't be able to control F their names.
Oh, I hate when that. I hate pages that like semi-loaded and you have to like scroll to load the rest. I'm like, son of a.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if these were images or if they're actual
Mm.
text, but they're actual text. So,
Google is also getting better about parsing images if there's text on it.
dude, they had the whole cast of the Blacklist there.
All 50 of them. Is the Blacklist still on
I
TV?
don't believe so.
Because like, remember when that show was a giant deal? And I feel like
I
no one was talking
definitely
about it,
fell
so
off of it.
But like when it came out, I remember the Blacklist being like the shit.
Matt Smith was supposed to be there.
No, it's still running.
Oh, the Blacklist?
Yeah.
I know they tried to do a spin-off. Hold on, let's see. They had um I'm scrolling up from the bottom now because I was reading some of the other people. They had John Bokenkamp.
Who made the Blacklist?
Is he the original writer or is he the one actor?
I'm looking. He's the creator of Blacklist. What the hell is Blacklist Redemption?
That's the
Did you
spin-off.
know? I was about to say, did you know there's a spin-off of the Blacklist? So
Hisham
there's two.
Tawfik. I'm sorry. I'm sure that's a French name that I'm butchering. Harry Lennox.
Was James Spader there?
It does not appear so because they're in alphabetical order. Amir Arison was there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was entertainment guest. Who do you think their biggest gaming guest was?
At C2E2?
Yeah.
I bet you some random porn cosplay person.
Well, I can tell you this: there were only 1, 2, 3. There were only 12 that were under gaming guests.
Xavier Woods was not there. Those he'd have been on that list to me. C2E2. Fuck.
It looks like the
Ooh.
entire cast of Mortal Kombat was there. They must have had a panel or something like that.
Oh, they did. I know they had a panel. They had like making of Mortal Kombat 11 panel. That's how we learned about some finisher stuff. But Ed Boon was. I don't think Ed Boon was there. I thought it was like executive producers
No.
and shit.
Nolan North is listed on here, but
He would. I don't know. I guess where else games? The reason I would argue he's games is I know he's a voice actor. But like, if I say where do you know Nolan North from, you're only going to listen to video games.
well, he was also under entertainment guests.
Also, they're cheating.
Yeah.
To me, he should just be, unless you have like a voice actor or actor category, which it just seems like they just say entertainment. I would argue Nolan North under video games makes sense.
I'm going through the comic to see if I know any of these people.
Comics, I actually saw there's some decent comic names there. You know,
So far, I don't know any of these.
It used to be called Chicago Comic Con. That's the C2. There's two C's.
All right. Through this season, I still don't know anybody on this list.
Wow.
I'm through the D's.
Starting listing some up. Let me see if I know any.
I'm just trying to see if I know any of these people, honestly. I'm sure this is a great podcast. Yeah, I don't know any of these people. So yeah. As far as everything that I've heard is that Kenny's TSN doc is really good. So.
Oh, that's good. Do we have any word on like when this stuff really starts?
What's that?
Like AEW, like big, like when they start doing bigger teams. Stuff.
Well, Double or Nothing is coming up, and then it would be All In 2, but they haven't announced anything for All In 2 yet.
And also in general, like they have to get a TV deal sooner or later. Like they need it.
I can almost guarantee you that they are. Double or Nothing is May 25th, 2019.
Okay.
That they are going for potentially a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could easily, Netflix is looking for something, Amazon is looking for something, Hulu is looking for something. And obviously, I think Hulu would be weird because they have a deal with the WWE right now.
My pitch is still ABC All Access. It's still my pitch.
You mean CBS All Access?
CBS All Access. Oh yeah, America's #1 news network. Yeah, CBS All Access is still my pitch.
Hold on. Man, they're gonna really make me. Search for this.
Jam right there.
There it is. Where to watch?
What are you looking up?
Is Pursuit Channel part of CBS at this point?
I have no clue.
I don't believe so. Doesn't look like it. Because I was looking at where TNA is, and they're on that Pursuit Network.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think CBS isn't going to do anything until they see what Fox gets for SmackDown.
But to me, the reason I argue the CBS All Access is because Fox is getting SmackDown is why to me that makes sense. Because it's still the streaming thing.
It doesn't make
why.
sense to them. And here's why it won't make sense to them. They need numbers. Like All Access isn't doing what they want.
Right now, All Access, the reason is because there's one good show on All Access. You know the name of that show
Star
is?
Trek?
Yes. Because name me another show on CBS All Access.
Well, don't they
matters.
have everything? Don't they have the CBS library
They
out
do,
there?
but no one cares about the backlog of CBS. I'm gonna break it to you. No one really cares that much. Besides Big Bang, name to me a CBS show. And Young Sheldon does not count as besides.
Were the CSI shows on CBS?
I always saw them like
I always watched the reruns.
CBS. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, it's a CBS show.
I know The Amazing Race is
like,
CBS.
Are we really gonna pay $10 a month to watch The Amazing Race reruns? If you started to paywall The Amazing Race, or like enough that stuff, I might agree with you a lot more. But I don't know if we're gonna pay $10 a month just to watch reruns of shows we kind of all enjoyed in the moment. But like CSI, like no one really cares about the through arc in CSI.
I don't, but there are definitely people out there that do.
But is that a decent audience?
That's the thing, right? So CBS All Access isn't doing the numbers they need it to. So they're going to be very careful about what's their next only all access show.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to wait a good 6 months to see the numbers that Fox is getting for SmackDown.
So I clicked on, I'm on Wikipedia, so I did the CSI thing, right? This is important. So I clicked on Jerry Bruckheimer, okay? Who I didn't realize did CSI, by the way.
Oh, you didn't realize that?
Also, you know what I also didn't realize?
What's that?
He's a director at ZeniMax.
Is he under the ZeniMax? Because I think they have a film division.
He's at ZeniMax Media, which is the parent company.
Yeah, so I don't think he has anything to do with Bethesda, but if I remember correctly, ZeniMax has a film TV division.
Right now, listing on this series, they don't list any film stuff currently, so... It looks like they used to have stuff, though.
Yeah.
But I just clicked, I was like, does that say ZeniMax Media?
You have to remember, ZeniMax is huge.
That's true. Which is funny, because it all spuns out. Like, Bethesda Game Studio was the original team, and they made a parent company.
Yeah, well... Bethesda is not looking great right now.
Don't look at me. I still think it's you made the dumb call of renaming your team that's never released a game, Bethesda Game Studios, to then put Todd Howard on that stage, and then in response, there was issues with the game because it was the team's first game.
Oh, that's not what I mean at all.
Okay.
I mean, that's still... people that listen to this show and the shows Mike and I have been on previously have heard my stance on Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously my stance on Bethesda didn't change with the response from Fallout 76.
Oh, I thought it would have.
In fact, if anything, it made me it just made me laugh. Like, finally people are realizing, like, oh hey, this engine sucks. Like,
yeah.
Let's be real. Like, it wasn't the lack of players or the lack of NPCs that was an issue. I mean, they were issues with 76, but it was the fact that you did like two things at once and the servers crashed because the engine crashed. It didn't know how to handle two things going off at once. So there were a bunch of issues, but I think it was definitely interesting to see them kind of tuck tail and say Bethesda Net ain't working.
Oh yeah, that is. I sent you that. That is very interesting. Like, there's still some games on it though, but yeah, majority of Bethesda's net games are now coming to Steam, which is really funny now, because now we're having the Steam versus Epic fight. I didn't expect Bethesda to be a quirk in that fight.
So here's the question: 76 hasn't come over yet.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes over,
Will
is
they
it
play
free?
together? No.
You don't think they turned 76 free to play?
There's a couple things. I feel like by now we'd have heard some rumor to back that. I've heard like rumors on Reset Arrow, but like not actual rumors. Um, I've heard nothing to back that, which I have definitely I understand your theory behind it, and it's still by all accounts sold decently well. Independent of critical feedback, it sold decently well, and that's the catch.
The question is, how many of those sales turned into refunds?
It depends though. Steam doesn't let it's not on Steam. Xbox doesn't let refunds. PlayStation doesn't let refunds. Who's refunding it?
The physical? Because they sold it physical.
They did, but we're at the point now, especially a game like this. Physical sales matter, but they start mattering a ton less.
Yeah. I heard...
We saw games last year that like 40% of sales were all digital. Like, we're at the point where this matters a ton
I heard
less.
people, though, were getting refunds through Bethesda Net for 76. So.
I've heard that too, but I also... the amount of rigor it made you seem like you had to do, I bet you it wasn't like a ton of people.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not saying it was zero people, for the record. I'm just saying I don't think it was this mass quantity of people.
I would be interested to see, right, okay, so I want a chart, a pie chart, specifically.
Okay. A pie chart. Like what kind of pie are you talking? We'll go with the Michigan sour cherry?
Nah.
No. What do you want? Like an apple, pumpkin?
So, honestly, there are some really good Michigan apple pies, but it's not from any of the, like, you're not going to find them in stores. You have to go to the band of Michigan. Like, it's a literal, it looks like, if you plot them on a map, it looks like a band. It's just south of Big Rapids to just north of Cedar Springs. There's a band of the Amish and Mennonites. Basically, they run across the state.
Okay.
And they make a really, really good apple pie. No, but I want to see, okay. So out of 100% of sales, how many were refunded?
I still bet you, then it was 10%. Like, I don't think that's a giant.
How many people played it for a week?
Oh, I bet you that's a good chunk. I will agree with you, that's probably a good.
How many people played it between 2 weeks and 3 months? And how many people have played it 3 months and on? Because, like, 3 months is usually, like...
Like, that's like Destiny, like, post-DLC, yeah, okay.
3 months is, like, if the person's gonna stick with it, they're sticking with it for 3 months, and then it's that switch of something else has come out, or they give up. Or they keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'd be an interesting chart to look at.
It would. We're never gonna see that chart
for sure. On to that's the news.
The news. I have to come up with a news theme. I'm sorry.
Do you wanna take a break now?
I'm good, actually. Are you good?
I'm good.
Do you need a pee?
Yeah, I'm good.
No pee for you, Jay?
On to stuff that we watch.
Oh, okay. So I've seen. Have you seen this show on Netflix?
I can
Well,
instantly tell you no because I don't have a Netflix.
okay. So it's the David Letterman. They did the My Next Guest, which is like, they're like David Letterman. Here's a show. Do what you want with it. Which he's interviewing people. I watched the episode with Howard Stern.
Can I just say the Netflix model of we're going to give you a chunk of money, a considerable chunk of money, do what
Hmm.
you want is not a good platform.
It depends. So like this, like in Hammerly, all it was here's a bunch of lights, and they rented out a stadium, like a small like stadium, and sold tickets to see David Letterman interview people. I don't think it's a money losing format.
Oh no, I mean they definitely have people that make it work.
Because, for example, David Letterman, you when they gave him a budget, you knew where the budget was going, was
Yeah,
just flying people out.
yeah.
That was all the budget was.
But like the Chelsea Handler show.
God Almighty, help us all. Who who thinks she's funny? I want to meet that person.
Okay, do you want my serious opinion? The
Yes.
person that thinks Chelsea Handler is funny is the person that thinks Amy
Thinks
Schumer is funny.
I was about to say that. I was about to be like, they think Amy Schumer's funny.
And I can, with almost 100% certainty, say that that Venn diagram is not a Venn diagram, it's a perfect circle.
No, and you know the best parts too. You know what it is, a Venn diagram? The people who think like Tina Fey is funny. There's the Venn diagram.
Tina Fey has her moments.
No, I don't think she's unfunny. I just don't think she's consistently funny.
Exactly.
I think Amy Poehler is funnier if I had to choose one or the other, because inherently they're best friends. They always get paired.
Yeah.
I think Amy Poehler is funnier than Tina Fey.
I don't know who I would
What else?
choose female comic.
That's a little sexist. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
What do you
and
mean, what
honestly,
would
I
you
don't know,
choose?
like, if I was going to build a show,
Yeah, I
like,
don't
who
know.
would I have as my lead male and who would I have my
Who
lead
is the
female?
girl? Who is the girl from Community?
Which one?
The like young, attractive one.
Uh,
Like Joe McHale tries to get in her pants for the first like
what's her
season.
name?
Sister.
Aubrey Plaza?
You know what I'm talking about? No, that you think Aubrey Plaza, who's another good one, is Parks and Rec. Aubrey
I couldn't
Plaza
remember
a
if
good
she was on
choice, though.
Community or not. I haven't seen
No,
Community in years.
I
So.
can tell you pretty quickly. Jillian Jacobs.
Yeah. But
I think she's a good one.
so here's the problem, right? So honestly, I don't know who I would have as my two leads in a comedy right now.
Aubrey Plaza. I think Aubrey. Oh, I know my two leads actually. Now that you say it, you ready for it? One of my two leads, if it's Aubrey Plaza, who's the other female we already talked about?
I don't know.
You know the answer. You know it. Think in your head, AJ.
I don't know what I always talk about. Well, usually when we talk about female comedians, it always
It's Anna Kendrick.
Oh. No, because they were in that Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, I believe it was.
That is exactly what they both
And
did.
that was terrible.
Did you actually watch
Yes.
that? Oh my.
I saw it in the theater, not by choice.
Yep, Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Stars. Exactly. OG Plaza.
And like even a male lead for me for comedy right now would be difficult.
There was some. So you know my old answer would have been Louis C.K., which you can't say. There are some like. I still think Robert De Niro is not a bad comedy actor.
Well, but I was thinking like TV shows because everybody that we're talking about is on TV shows.
That's valid. Who's another TV? Who's a good?
I mean, Andy Samberg is
show?
good, but he's a little
I like
too.
him. He's too like the.
He's too
like,
Jimmy
I'm making a
Fallon.
joke
Yeah,
now.
he's too Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the old saying with Jimmy Fallon? He laughs at all of his jokes. There are clips you can find of like on YouTube of like SNL sitcoms of Jim Fallon just laughing at his own jokes.
yeah.
Yeah, who's another?
I mean, like if I was gonna build a comedy show right now between two people,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably Terry Crews
Okay. You have me listening.
and
And Andy Samberg.
Brie
We'll
Larson.
call it. Oh, you don't like you didn't catch my joke.
I Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Actually,
Well,
but
the
like,
reason I
but
chose
is she a
Terry was
comedy
because
actress?
of
Is she?
Brooklyn.
But is she a comedy actress though? Because
Watching,
Captain Marvel's
yeah,
probably the funniest thing I can think of her in.
and she does pretty good there. And
I'm not saying she does
maybe it's
bad
because
there.
I've recently seen Captain Marvel twice.
Twice now. Why a
I
second
had a
time?
free pass.
Interesting.
I had a free movie pass that needed to be used up, so and
Like actual movie
no,
pass?
like a free ticket.
Oh.
And Captain Marvel was the only thing that fit in my schedule. So,
Hmm.
um, a lot like
Interesting.
it's funny when I go back to watch a movie a second time, I focus on stuff a lot more.
Hmm.
And all right, for the next I don't know minute and a half, 2 minutes, Captain Marvel spoilers, but not really.
Okay. Oh, I know where we're going. Yeah, go on.
Well, you may not. The fight that they have at the end.
Like the big
Yeah, the
climactic
big
fight.
climactic fight between her and her former team.
Yeah.
The mix for the song was way down.
I've been thinking about the soundtrack at Marvel. Can I file a complaint to the official jury for a second?
What's your complaint?
Okay, so you know how this is a movie set in the 90s, so it's all 90s music, right?
Yeah, I will say okay. So "Come As You Are," I really liked that use of it.
Oh, no, no. It has nothing to do with the individual songs. So you know there's like flashbacks of like her showing her, right? That would have taken place in the fucking 80s. Why are we playing 90s music in her flashbacks when she would have nostalgia for 80s music?
What do you, like? So okay, how old do you
Like
think Carol Danvers is?
they in the movie,
Yeah,
I don't know, they said something along the lines of she's missing for like 4 or 5 years
she was
and it was like
dead for
94.
6 years.
And it was 94, which meant inherently been 80 in the 80s when she was
Yeah, I think they
taken.
said 88 was when the plane
But the
crash
point
happened.
is, you know what I'm saying though? So all of her growing up scenes in her head would take place in the
But
80s.
she would have been 20-ish. We'll
Yeah,
call it 22 when she started flying.
yeah.
So, like, her childhood would have been in the late 60s.
But it was still the sense of like they showed her as a teenager, which would have been like the 80s
70s.
things. But the point is still, it's not the
Yeah,
90s, which is where her flashback music takes place for the theme of the movie. But it doesn't make sense in actuality.
it doesn't matter. Um,
It doesn't matter.
and we're going to keep the Captain Marvel spoiler talking. I don't know how long we've been going, but we're going to keep it going.
Okay.
And this is an actual spoiler for the end of the movie. It's something that I talked to Mike about that I don't know why they had to include it. The whole Ronin, like the line of "we're
I
coming back for her."
I think I feel I'm not saying about this. I think it's just because it's showing like, hey, this villain has just been a thing, and this is how we connect everyone because they all have a common
Well,
enemy.
and
Like,
here's the thing, right? You said something about Guardians. Guardians never
mhm.
visit Earth,
Well, Guardians 2 you see a flashback, but yeah, they never visit Earth.
but in Guardians 1 when they fight Ronin,
Uh huh.
it's never near Earth.
That's true.
So that's she's not remotely tied to that.
And also, it gets weird to me because like, if Ronan was still there, um, it would make sense why Captain Marvel was gone. Now it makes zero sense where Captain Marvel is, and they better explain in Endgame because I'm like, really, where the fuck is she?
Well, she says that
Because once Ronan
well, it
dies,
says that she goes to find the scroll a new home
right?
on the ship that Marvel designed and created.
Which, can we discuss? I think that's the actual comic name. How dumb that is.
Marvel.
Yeah. I think it's the actual name in the comics. I don't think they made it up, but I think it's a dumb name.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, okay, now she becomes Captain Marvel. But
Mm-hmm.
also, I can't get that sting of the song that Sam Jackson sings out of my head. So I just hum that all the time. Wait, Mr. Postman.
Oh, speaking of Captain Marvel, okay?
Yep.
So I've been thinking about this more. So you know Shazam comes out in 2 weeks or a week,
Yeah.
right? You know what Shazam's name is in the
Captain
comic,
Marvel.
right?
We've discussed
Right.
this before.
So in my head, I wish to God they just called, this official name is Marvel's Captain. I wish to God they called that DC's Captain Marvel and just released it at the same day. If I was DC, I would have fucking done that. Because the Jungle Books were supposed to release.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the cluster at the theater?
It would have been amazing. But if you're DC, so they have confidence in the movie, obviously. If they didn't, and they did that, how much they had been like, we make more money this way.
I don't know if they would, because here's my point. Imagine you're some schmuck, right, that goes up to the theater and sees Captain Marvel listed. Well, you see two of them and a bunch of showtimes. And you tell the person, I want to see the 6:30 Captain Marvel.
Which one?
Well, would you like to see the Marvel Captain Marvel or the DC Captain Marvel?
DC.
And our Joe Schmuck that's standing there that has no idea what's going on, he's just taking his kids to the movie, the kids wanted to see Captain Marvel, is saying, I don't give a damn which one we go to, I want the 6:30 showing.
So when the Marvel one gets full, they put all the schmucks in the DC one.
Yeah, and it would just be a cluster for everyone.
I know they got delayed by a year. I wanted to live in the world where both Jungle Books came out back to back. Because you knew for a fact, I was so ready to just see movie theaters explode.
Well, here's what they should have done, right? So a normal run at a theater is like 2 months.
So you want to do it when it ends.
Right, so you have a gentleman's agreement where one of them goes first, and then the other one just picks up right where the other one left off. The problem being, generally, whoever was second would get shafted.
Right.
Because people would be like, oh, we already saw the Jungle Book.
You're like, no, you didn't. That was for the best to explain to people that, like, no, this is not the Jungle Book. You're like, what do you mean? It's the Jungle Book. I'm like, it's not the
This
Jungle
is
Book.
Jungle Book, not the Jungle Book.
It's so great. Because people are just like, what?
It's just... I'll say this, for our mouse overlords. At the very least, they'll get a bunch of this shit just taken care of.
My mouse overlord.
Because now that they own everything, there won't be these weird licenses.
Well, no, they don't own the other Jungle Book, nor Captain Shazam. So, nope, we didn't have any problems.
Well, but okay, so a lot of this stuff is cleared up. The thing that I would honestly, though, like to see... Oh, by the way, our Captain Marvel spoiler is done.
Okay.
So yeah. People can tune back in.
We're back. What you're saying?
Just that what the mouse should really do, okay? The mouse should walk over to Electronic Arts.
The mouse. I'm picturing just Mickey doing it himself.
Oh, then you'll love this image. The mouse just walking up to EA in...
Just slap.
Are they still based in Washington? Or have they moved down to LA?
God, they have studios everywhere.
I know, but where's their head?
Redwood City.
Okay, so they're still in Washington.
a lot of shocking amount of companies just have headquarters in Redwood. They might not be able to find people there, but they have like just headquarters.
Well, you can say, oh, we're headquartered in the same city as Microsoft.
No, but that's they're in Bellevue, Washington,
Yeah, you said Redwood, right?
Redwood City,
Oh,
California.
there's a Redwood,
Yeah.
Washington. That I was confusing.
No, no, that's what I mean.
Um, Redwood City, isn't that in the Bay Area?
Kinda. It's in San Mateo County, but it's not quite. It says 27 miles south of San Fran, so probably a little bit cheaper.
So okay, so San Jose, we'll call it.
Sure. I'm
The
okay
San
with
Francisco 49ers are an hour and a half drive without traffic from San Francisco, so
that. With traffic at like 10.
it's like 4 hours to get to a Niners game apparently.
Wait. The motto of Redwood City. You ready for this one? If I asked you what was the motto of Redwood City, what would you think? It'd be something with trees, right?
We got trees and grass, baby.
No. City motto: climate best by government test.
Climate best?
By government test.
Okay, that's weird.
Fucking hate California, man.
I'd honestly like to hear the story behind that, but I don't care right now. But no, just the mouse walking up to their main building, taking those gloved hands because that's easier to draw than actual hands.
And they're gonna pick it up.
No, and just take the double doors because you know EA has double doors.
Oh, damn right they do.
And
What do you
grabbing them and throwing them open and just storming in and going right into the CEO's office and taking him by the collar of his shirt, right? And saying, you no longer have access to the Star Wars license. And then just throwing him down and then walking out. But honestly, Disney taking back the Star Wars license and letting people bid for it would be so much better because, like, look at the shit show that's going on with EA and the Star Wars franchise.
So to me, what they should do is what they're doing with Marvel licenses. You don't bid off the Star Wars license. You say, what do you want to do? And they do an individual game basis.
Yeah.
Would be if they want to do all external, they should do what they're doing with Marvel and go, you get Iron Man, you get Spider-Man, you get Avengers, have a good day.
Because, I mean, Disney doesn't have dev studios anymore, do they?
No, they have a mobile team.
Well, they
I
spun
think,
back
or
up
two.
LucasArts.
No, so I read that story and then I read stuff in that story. LucasArts has always been a thing in the sense of that's what they call their internal team who deals with EA. It's called LucasArts, which no one just called that team that publicly until then.
Oh.
But internally, they always called it LucasArts.
I have to wonder, though, if maybe that statement is hinting at something.
Maybe, but even like someone like Jason Schreier was like, no, that I've known that team's been called that for 2 years. Like he's very publicly like, I've known that name. Like it doesn't mean shit. So maybe it does. But like even like people who in the know are like, no, that's just been a thing.
It could have been a test to see kind of like what,
Why people
yeah,
decided.
what impact does the LucasArts name still have?
Mm-hmm.
Because I forget, did I text you this? Or Discord this? About
I know.
I guess minor, this isn't a spoiler for Captain Marvel. Just cinematic universes need to die. I texted you that, right?
You talked about it somewhat.
Because it's just ridiculous when like you're going through stuff, and the first perpetrator of this is George Lucas.
He invented them basically.
He said, "Oh, these are the movies that I wanted to create. This is my image."
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 years later goes, "No, but really, this is my image," changing basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 years after that, "No, really, this is the version." And then finally Disney took it away from him and said, "No, stop. We got this."
Which do they though?
Yes.
We'll see.
Okay, do you seriously want to get into the conversation of have these movies been better than the Lucas movies?
Oh, so here's the thing though, and this will get weird. Do you define the original trilogy as the Lucas movies?
I define the original trilogy plus the prequels.
I think they're better than half of the Lucas films. Then I think
Okay, so here's the thing,
I
right?
think all but one of the Star Wars movies that Disney has released, they've released four. All but one of them are not in the same quality as the original three.
So it's what? It's
All but one.
7, 8,
Rogue
Solo, and Rogue
Rogue
One.
One and Solo. Rogue One is the only one I think stacks in the original, like in the ranking, somewhere in the original three's ranking. The other three do not.
Here's the other thing. Are we basing this off of the current releases of the original trilogy or the original releases?
Whichever one's better. I don't like the fight. To me is like, I understand there's like some character differences, but to me it's never been enough of a
Well,
change where I care.
but
that
here's
much.
the thing. It's enough of a change that like the changes are super noticeable. So it's definitely important because if you're talking about the current original trilogy where he shoehorned in Jabba the Hutt.
Which is funny because Jabba was supposed to be in there originally. Is the story always?
Well, no, if you go back, that scene is not shot in a way that they would have ever thought
Oh
about
yeah.
Jabba the Hutt.
No, but like there's original storyboarding of who you wanted Jabba in the original movie, it just never happened.
Yeah. So if you go off of the current original trilogies, there's only one in that series that is exceptional. So I would say two of the current series. I don't know what we're calling it, like the current trilogy and
Their
the
spin-off.
spin-offs. At least two of those are better than everything that's
Which one do you think? Which is so? We agree on Rogue One, I assume. What do you think the other one is?
okay. So believe it or not, I actually like Solo.
Solo. My issue is I don't think Solo was bad, and in a vacuum, it's not a bad movie.
Right.
It's just a bland movie.
Right.
That's my issue. It's too bland.
It's a decent movie. Like obviously it's got all the connections to Star Wars, so it's like it feels bland there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty good movie.
Again, I agree with you. In isolation, if it wasn't tied to Star Wars, I'd almost argue it might be a better film.
Yeah.
Because like the Darth Maul thing in Solo, like everyone like that's such a dumb shoehorn thing.
It is, but it's also weird because it's like okay, so I guess the TV show is canon.
Which I'm not that surprised that Old Republic, not Old Republic, God,
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, yeah,
Yeah.
Clone Wars.
So, yeah, I mean like my favorite I think of the original is New Hope.
It's five. Really?
I only like New Hope because of visuals.
Oh, I think five's a way better movie.
I mean, they just get stupid at some point. Like five. Okay, five is good. Six is just plain stupid.
So I see the issue with six is it's two movies. If it was two movies like it should be, it half of six would be the better movie. It would have been five.
And then New Hope is because obviously New Hope is like okay, this is the first. This is Alpha Prime of the Star Wars series, and especially if you watch it with the unmastered editions.
Mm-hmm.
There it's visually, I think, the best looking.
Hmm.
Just because it's got so many different, environments and stuff like that. But I like New Hope best, and then I would go with the two spin-offs, a large gap, and then everything else. Or no, okay, not a large gap. I would go 4, Rogue One, Solo kind of level, 5, 6, huge gap, everything else.
So I think I go 5. I think I go 5 Rogue One, 6 4, drop a little, 7 and 8, just fall off the face of the earth. Everything else.
So you don't have Solo ranked at all.
Solo's my fall off the face of the earth ranking. I think Solo is better than the prequels, but I think Solo is the weakest otherwise.
No. Solo's stronger than 8 for sure. There's an argument for 7.
7, I think. So I understand the argument of 7's remake of 4, but I think also 7's a stronger movie than 4 is kind of why I rank it decently high.
I think the only reason it's a stronger movie is because they have the universe to build off of and the tech to build off of.
And that's true, and that could be why, but I still think it's a strong. I also love you. Also, there's stuff in. I think 7's like, there's like cool ideas in 7, and like I think 8 fizzled on some of those ideas, but there's like cool things like who are these people in 7. Kind of like how 4 in the time was like who are these people.
Yeah.
But again, yes, it's a remake, but it's also like it's still the argument of I still like the argument of Disney had to play it safe with 7 just to prove they could handle Star Wars. Because imagine if they came out with 7 and they did a risk and it fizzled. People would have been pissed.
Yes.
Instead, 7 is the second or third grossest film of all of time.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. But
have we ever thought to think of that, like, 2 of the 3 grossest film of all time have both been Disney films last 3 years?
also think about this. It's like prices are increasing, so
I've heard arguments right now is what's happening is we're increasing at a faster rate than theaters are shrinking, and that's why things are going up.
yeah. Yeah, that's why
That's
why everything will become $1 billion movie because when tickets cost $10.
Yes and no, because at a certain point, we're gonna hit a tipping point. I don't know if we might be like by all accounts, like this year's box office is not doing super hot right now, so we might be really close to that point if we're not there.
Yeah. But still, it'll be much easier to hit $1 billion since tickets are,
It will be. So that's gonna be stuff like China. I'm gonna be intrigued on like when as America's number, as you're starting to see like starts falling.
Yeah, could be interesting.
Because right now America is still the number 2 force, but that could change really quickly.
Yeah.
Because China came out of nowhere to become number 1, for example. Stop.
Yeah, I could see India.
That's what I can see. India pop.
India would go, and then it would be. Is it Indonesia or the Philippines that has like 500 million people?
I thought it was Indonesia.
Then it'll be Indonesia, and then the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, it's you have to play the population game. Like,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The countries that are going to become the rulers of the box office are the ones that are going to have the most people.
But that's also assuming that their economies will grow. Which, again, they might. It just might take time.
Well, you look at India. India's output, at least, is much, much higher than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a draw. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. It'll be very intriguing. So you know what we haven't talked about yet? That I went to?
What's up?
The GDC. We have not talked about Ye Old Game Developers Conference.
You know what? We'll do a separate show that's you can geek out about GDC. Just because, well, here's the reasoning. I can almost guarantee you that show will be longer than this show. So.
That's fine. We'll talk about during movie club.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. which is fun. Speaking of movie club, though,
Yes,
we got some discussions to do.
we do.
Mm-hmm. So we have to decide the new movie and the old movie. Where do you want to begin?
Let's start with. I go to HBO
Oh,
and look at movies. All right, new movies.
I do like how HBO lets me see the movies they have without subscribing where the other ones don't. Like some like Netflix.
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's actually really nice. Okay.
Like Amazon does too,
Yeah.
which but it's still nice.
The Meg,
God no.
The First Purge.
Oh my God! I found the thing we're
Fallen
watching.
Kingdom. What?
I have a pitch for you. It's a Benedict Cumberbatch movie. You know what it's called? Brexit. In honor of Brexit falling apart.
Oh, is that a?
It's an HBO movie.
Oh no! You know what? Wait, hold on.
What?
Is this? No, that's not what it was. Would you rather watch the first or the second in a kid spy series?
Is it Spy Kids?
No,
Okay, I was gonna be like, I swear to God it.
no, because there's
What is
three
it?
of those.
No, there was 4 of those.
Were there 4?
Yeah, the time traveling one. It was
Never
weird.
saw that one.
Me neither.
I honestly don't
Yeah.
know if I ever saw 3.
3 was. You never saw Spy Kids 3D?
I don't believe so.
I own the DVD of it. I'll ship it to your house.
Okay. Also, you know what I've noticed?
Huh.
None of the streaming services ever have Born 3. What is it?
We... Born.
There's Identity, Supremacy, and then
Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Yeah, nobody ever has Ultimatum.
Really?
Like, HBO currently has 1 and 2.
Is it a different company?
I don't believe so. If it was, that would be a huge, like... If it was a different company, you wouldn't be seeing 1 and 2. You know what I mean?
But I meant like maybe 1 and 2 is a company and then 3 is a different company.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the company for 3 would probably own the rights to 1 and 2.
Oh,
So you
okay.
wouldn't be seeing
I was thinking
1
more
and
of like from a financial point of view, but maybe. Also, no one cares about. I'm gonna say the thing about the Bourne movies. My issue with them is my issue is their generic action movie. Like besides Jason Bourne, no one can name other characters in the Bourne movies.
I can't because I haven't seen them in a while.
But in general, people, it's like there was a study I saw like 2 days ago. I meant to put in the show notes, where they tried to have people name characters from the movie Avatar. People couldn't name the plot of the movie Avatar.
Okay, I know Jake Sully. I know. I can picture a name. Nala. No, that's Lion King.
That is Lion King.
There's one that's like that.
Also, to be fair, you understand the story is also just Romeo and Juliet.
No,
so,
it's
like, there's that.
Last of the Mohicans.
Is that? But like I thought last. But like the point is still like.
I think it's
There was
Last of the
nothing
Mohicans.
original about Avatar. There's nothing original. I thought it was Romeo and Juliet because it's the forbidden love.
It's either Last of the Mohicans or it's. I don't think it's Dancing with Wolves. It's one of those.
But that's why I put it now, because of the nature of it being.
You never answered my question. The first or second?
First, I don't know what we're talking
Agent Cody Banks.
about. Are you kidding me? You want me to watch Agent Cody
Frankie
Banks?
Muniz and Hilary Duff from 2003.
Someone is gonna look at my Amazon list and think I'm a serial killer after just listing movie club movies next to each other.
Madonna is an executive producer.
I can't believe
Jason
what.
Alexander is an executive producer.
I think he's the villain, isn't he?
I think so too. Hold on, casting crew. He's not listed in the top 5, so.
Huh? I thought he was. Cause he like during the 2000s he was like children villain.
Keith David is in this movie. We have to watch this movie.
Keith, like the Keith
Yes,
David from
the
Saints Row?
Keith David.
The Keith David. Yes, my number one connection to Keith David is Saints Row. Don't judge me.
Well, okay, so that's not weird because that's the only thing he's done recently.
Yeah. And also like, like they make a point of how he's in Saints Row.
Yeah.
They make a point. He's the president of the United States in Rick and Morty.
I've never really watched Rick and Morty, so sure.
He's himself in the Saints Row series. I like it.
Let's see, his latest film was Love Jacked. He played Ed. He was in The Nice Guys.
Did anyone really watch The Nice Guys?
I did. It was on Amazon, I believe, and it was pretty good.
I still can't believe we're watching this fucking movie.
I'm looking for Rick and Morty. Where did you see that?
It was in the top. It was like you know, if you pull up Wikipedia, it's like here's some things they're known for. It's on there.
Oh. He was the narrator for WrestleMania 28,
Which is what year?
2012. That was, I believe, Once in a Lifetime Part 2. He was the narrator of the true story of WrestleMania.
He was in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Oh, there it is, 2015 to present. Rick, president. Well, he was only in 3 episodes.
Still.
He was a voice in Mr. Robot. He was a voice in Archer. He was a narrator for something about NASCAR. He was a voice in Ben 10. He was a voice in BoJack Horseman.
Hold up, he was a voice in Ben 10 and you're just passing over it. Who was he in Ben 10?
Yock? Wait, is this a new Ben 10 series?
There is a newer
Yes.
one. No, that is the
It's an American animated
they
reboot. Yeah.
So they rebooted Ben 10 with the, you know, the dumb new animation style Cartoon Network's been doing recently?
Nope.
I call it the cheap style.
Nope.
So Nickelodeon's been doing this too because it's cheaper. So it's very much like it's like exaggerated style, I call it. So like in the new Turtles, like Raphael is a giant guy and Donatello is skinny. Like it's very exaggeration because it's a cheaper style. A lot of cartoons have been doing it. They did the same thing with Ben 10.
Video games. Fallout, Halo 2, Saints Row, Halo 3. Oh right, Arbiter wasn't in Halo 1, so that's why he wasn't in Halo 1. Mass Effect, Saints Row 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Mass Effect 2, Dissidia 12, Final Fantasy. Sorry, Dissidia 012, Final Fantasy.
Get it damn right, son. Get it right.
Mass Effect 3, Marvel Hero. He was Nick Fury in Marvel Heroes. Saints Row 4, the Master Chief Collection, and Halo 5.
I forget Marvel Heroes is a thing sometimes. Remember they rebranded as Marvel Heroes 2015?
Is that the... Oh, that's the MMO. Yeah.
It's not, yeah. It's,
Is it...
I don't know if it was...
Wasn't it shut down?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was... Giganted or something?
Gazillion was...
Gazillion, that's it.
Yeah. Yep, it was shut down. Okay, so Agent Cody Banks.
Okay.
I'm adding that to my watch list.
God, what is gonna be our new movie then? So my pitch was that new Netflix movie coming out.
But I don't have Netflix.
Okay, but it's the same cost as you going to a theater.
No, it isn't.
How's it not?
Because if I go on a Tuesday, it's $6. If I go any other day, it's $7. $7.50.
Okay, so it's like a buck or two more. I apologize.
No, no, isn't it $12 a month now?
That's you get like a $10 option, I think. Uh huh.
Or I could just do what I always do and go sailing and trying to find it.
Sailing, you call it?
Well, you got to go to the bay, so.
You got. I'm looking right now. Here are some options I'm giving us otherwise. We have Shazam.
Yep.
That's the only good thing. Oh, God damn.
Pet
Oh, there we go.
Cemetery.
Hellboy comes out. Hellboy comes out on the 12th. And then 19th. I'm only really going through the 19th because I think like 26th is too far out. Yep. So I'm really giving us. It's like Hellboy or Shazam, Netflix thing. Ooh, no, I have a pick. This is no, this is not a joke. I know what movie. I see it. AJ, our new movie. Can I have a drum roll, please?
Is it Peterloo?
No. We're gonna watch The Best of Enemies.
Okay.
It's it is Sam Rockwell. And he runs the local KKK.
Taraji Henson looking like Viola Davis.
Yeah, she does.
Like, I legit thought it was Viola Davis.
I saw the trailer for this movie and I was like, this is a me-ass movie.
Who's directing it? Robin Bissell?
Mm-hmm.
It's known for The Hunger Games, Seabiscuit, Free State of Jones.
Free State of Jones was like, wasn't it a bomb, I feel like?
It sucked.
I was gonna say, or just like say, it looked decent.
Oh, sorry, he was a producer on those. This is his first movie. This is his directorial debut.
Ooh. Also, can we discuss how, for everything he does, Sam Rockwell could just look like. Sam Rockwell is kind of like who was Batman?
Christian Bale.
Yeah, so like they're the type of actors who could just transform into anyone. Sam Rockwell in Vice does not look like Sam Rockwell.
Oh, he definitely does. I saw Sam Rockwell.
Did you
Yes.
really? Oh, fuck.
Like, I didn't see Christian Bale.
But you saw.
I saw Sam Rockwell.
Damn. Tisk. But yeah, that's the movie I'm voting for. Realistically, will there be at some point when we watch Infinity War? I mean, Endgame. But yeah, they'll probably bleed into the May show. I'm willing to bet I'll see it.
We may even do a like a Endgame only show.
We might. We gotta see because it comes out like the end of the month too, so we gotta see when we see it. But yeah. And then so coming up, the episode's not over though. I have made an executive decision. Coming up after we say our goodbyes, I am coming back with our friend Kevin from Dragon Slumber, and I did a special interview with him talking about kind of how is tech support doing, and now that it's been a month after it came out, how is he doing with indie dev, and all that nonsense. It was a good time. We sat down for like 30-40 minutes, talked about that kind of stuff. So yeah, after we say our goodbyes, stay tuned. You still got more podcasts coming up.
Sounds good.
AJ, anything else for the peoples?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think we'd like to thank you for joining us for this episode of the SWW Show. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at the SWW Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Mikey_Maroney. You can follow AJ at Twitter at your senator's gonna lose re-election. Remember, you can find the show on iTunes.
Which senator?
The one that's gonna be up in 2020. Gary something. Peter, Gary, whatever. I don't know his name. Because Debbie Statel was last
Yep.
one. So now it's him.
Gary Peters?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
You like him. Yeah, remember, you can follow the show on Spotify, iTunes, podcast services of your choice. I don't know what Android does. I think Android just screams into Google saying play podcasts. I think that's how that works. I'm not fully sure.
You can either use the Google Podcast app or in...
They have a Google Podcast app? I didn't know that.
Or the Google Play Music app. You can do podcasts through there as well.
Interesting. I had no clue. So yeah, apparently there is a Google Podcast app.
It's fairly like the actual app itself is fairly recent.
I was gonna say, because I thought that was the thing. Always Android people would always complain, saying they had to do like weird stuff to get podcasts.
You always had to have an external app, but then I'd say probably a year and a half ago, maybe. Play Music started doing podcasts.
Okay.
And then I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, they released the podcast app.
Because, it just makes logical sense or something stupid.
Well, a partial reason was them trying to figure out, okay, how do we want to handle it? Just something you have to remember is the Android idea is that it's open. So they're not huge on the...
Make apps.
Yeah, making apps for something.
They still make a decent amount.
Yeah, but there's always an alternative.
That's true.
So...
I can't believe I'm writing down Watch Agent Cody Banks on my to-do list.
Also, this poll on Android Police. How much would you pay for Stadia if it had a monthly fee? The options are nothing, I'm not interested, less than 10, between 10 and 20, or more than 20.
I'm between the 10 and 20. If it works. I'm going to put this caveat of assuming it works as advertised, I would do between 10 and 20.
If it works the same way that Project Stream worked, yeah, I would say $15 a month.
And again, that's not knowing it's live, but there's a lot of caveats in that one. But like, if I had just ballpark a number, that seems like if you told me that thing came out, it was like, here's like every game, like list like even a couple of games on the service, it's $15 a month, and you could just play it on anything. That is legitimately a game changer.
Also, the idea that you could watch a trailer for something and then instantly jump into it.
Oh, the other cool thing, so this is a cool tech thing as we end up the show, is what's interesting to me is their controller they announced. It's not connected to your device.
It's Wi-Fi.
It's on the right. So that's how it reduces lag input, because it's not going controller device to internet. It's going controller directly to internet. So it's reducing input lag, which I think is interesting.
Well, and the thing of it was, like, for Project Stream, they recommended a controller connected through the USB. Device.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I played... I believe it was Odyssey. No, it was Odyssey.
It was only Odyssey.
It was either Odyssey or Origins.
That's Odyssey.
I played that with my Xbox controller. Plugged into the USB, so.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, you'll catch us in a couple weeks, guys. Remember to do your homework of watching Agent Cody Banks. And to watch Best of Enemies when it comes out in theater near you.
And Cody Banks is definitely on HBO. Is it on Amazon?
I have no idea. Let's see. Agent. I can't even believe I'm typing this. Oh, sad. I used to use a site called Can I Stream It, but Can I Stream It's not stopped working like a year ago.
Really? What happened?
It's something on its back. It just doesn't load shit anymore. Can I Stream It was always a great fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's being weird. But I don't know. You could figure that out on your own. Trust me, you can find. You know, I wonder.
Hmm.
You know what's gonna be on Disney Plus. So they said every Disney movie,
Yeah.
and this is a DCOM original.
This is.
I thought it was a Disney Channel original.
Yeah,
I think it's DCOM.
I believe so.
Boy, we just opened the floodgate of the DCOMs. Get fucking ready.
Dude, I was just going through HBO and I just saw him. So
I can't wait for us to do a serious review on this movie. It's gonna be great. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Say bye to the people, RJ.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the SWW show. I'm Mike. The next voice you'll hear, I'm sorry, is not AJ. We're gonna say that. What do we say today? I'm gonna say he fell in like a hole in the ground, but like someone then like put some dirt on top of him, so we don't know where. So
Is that you? Was that? Did you put him in the hole in the ground? It wasn't me. I swear to everyone out there, I am not the culprit.
Well, I'm just saying he did blame someone else first, so I don't know if I believe it. That voice is Kevin, as you recognize. You might know him as Dragon Slumber.
Peace in. Everyone knows me. Come on. But I'm always on this show now, so there you go. I'm
That is
barely.
true. You are a returning guest.
Yeah.
Which we would like thank you for. So yeah, I'm here today with Kevin. We're here to talk about just tech support, kind of like his feelings about the game. It's been out. Has it been out now? What, for roughly a month?
Almost a month, yeah.
Okay.
So we're recording this for the people out there listening. We're recording on March 25th, and it came out on February 27th.
Okay, so pretty close to a month then. So it's a good like a month after. So just top in then. How are you feeling about the game? Like from what I'm paying attention to and seeing stuff, like I feel like you got a decent amount of buzz based on what I can see.
Yeah, it was really okay. So I actually want to give a lot of context to the people out there listening, and even to you, because a lot of people don't realize the situation that I was in when I released tech support. So I released tech support on February 27th. On February 28th, I moved. I was moving from one apartment to another place 2.5 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was launching the game, I had people. I was actually streaming. I stream a lot of my development, and I was having people in the background who were working on stuff and who were doing preparing some boxes, some last minute stuff for my apartment. So the moment that everything was done with the launch, and we're going to talk a little bit about there was some issues when it launched, but the moment that it was done, I immediately jumped over, started on finalizing some of the moving stuff, and it was such a crazy busy week. And obviously working on moving, okay, people are done with stuff. I'm back on the Steam forums, checking out what people are saying about the game. And, there's always people who are asking questions and who might be even issues with the game. So I'm trying to respond the way I can with all of that. It was a crazy week. And even afterwards, so we packed the boxes into the truck the following day, traveled here. I'm now in Montreal, and during the evening in the hotel apartment, I was spending like 2 or 3 hours on my laptop, just answering to people on the Steam forums, sending out tweets, doing all of that job. A game dev's job, an indie game dev's job especially, is never done. And yeah, that moving was not scheduled, was supposed to be a month before, but stuff happened, so I ended up matching up with my my moving. And yeah, you want to talk about crazy, that's a crazy occurrence in general.
You don't want to. You're telling me you shouldn't move and release a decent sized game like at the exact same time?
I know it's crazy, right? Like, there's no article on Gamma Sutra about that. I didn't know.
To be fair, that should be you should legitimately write a Gamma Sutra article called like about being like, yeah, just don't. It's just like 2 lines. Be like, don't move and make game at the same time. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the entire article, and the entire source is your like psychologist bills. Like that's it. All it would be. That's it. Article done. We're good to go.
It's all you need. Article of the year. I'd win a Pulitzer for that.
It would legitimately be like every game dev would be like, yeah, yeah, of course. And then you get some game devs being like, oh shit. And you'd get a couple people being like, what, were you sure?
Yeah, exactly. I would get a lot of people and that's the thing, right? Like, you can. It's just a proof that you can't control all of the factors. My factors were very extreme compared to a lot of people, but I'll bet that there are other people. I'll bet there are people out there who had a baby. Hopefully, it was the father and not the mother, who had a baby at the same time that they were launching a game and trying to balance all of that stuff. Like, there's so many things that we end up not controlling, and that we just have to do our best and just push through and make the best out of every situation when that's happening. And it's kind of unfortunate because you also want to, as we're launching a game, our work isn't done. We have to keep in touch with players. Players are gonna, invariably, there will be issues that fell through the cracks that were not found by all the people who played the game before it launched. There are some stuff that will be discovered, especially in the case of tech support. We unfortunately discovered that there was a big issue with the German version. Tech support is available in German and Chinese along with English, and I'm gonna be honest, it's all kind of a blur at this point, so I don't remember the specifics. But there was a big issue with the German version, and that was what I was working on the day of the launch. I was making sure, okay, there's this huge issue, people can't play the game. I want to offer them the best experience possible, and that's kind of what I dove deep into. And I, to this day, continue to keep an eye on the forums when people raise some issues, especially localization issues. I speak French and English, but I don't speak German. I don't speak Chinese. So there's a lot of stuff that it's likely that I would have missed in those languages. So we kind of make sure that if there's something that's raised, I want to make sure that I can address them as fast as possible and release a patch for everyone out there to enjoy the game.
So let's start on that episode, because the thing I always talk, like, so I make a lot of game stuff, and one of the things I always know is, like, the whole story is, like, you leave room for German and UI. So how, like, something like this, where your game is very text heavy, or my game's going to be text lighter, how much of your UI just being, like, this, like, when do you ever to, like, do stuff like, well, this kind of looks weird in a different language, but I need some, like, room for German, for example, and, like, how much, like, especially because everything for you, is it, like, very hard to balance that a lot of times?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of lucky because it's true that I have a very text-heavy game. So just to put the people in context who might not have seen tech support, who might not have checked out the earlier episode where I was on, tech support is a game where you play the role of a tech support specialist. It's presented entirely from the perspective of a computer terminal. So it's like if you're on an operating system, Windows, Mac, Linux, something like that. You have your Windows, and you're providing technical support to various people who have issues with their mobile phones. They contact you through a chatting system, and you have to respond to them. You have to figure out what their problems are, and then provide the appropriate solutions depending on what the company that you work for has deemed is the accurate answer at that time. So you have things like a web browser, you have your email, system. You have all of these elements, which obviously involves a lot of text, a lot of emails. Not only sending out emails, but also receiving emails from all of the people that you encounter along the game. And one of the good things is that because an email is of a variable length, and even a chat box is a variable length, when it came to translating in other languages, those specific elements did not end up being a problem because the system was already appropriately set to accommodate variable length sentences. Now, that being said, there were issues in other sections that were a little bit more static, like we have a web browser, and you can access the website. You can access various websites in the game, including the Kazar website, Kazar being the company that you work for. And because it's this sort of corporate presented website, there was a little bit of a spillover that I had to work on to properly present that. Chinese, on the other hand, Chinese became a whole different issue because Chinese is a lot shorter text, which is great, but because there are so many characters, the system that I was using for the display of text didn't work in other languages, so I had to implement a system that would accommodate that, and that was done prior to the launch of the game. But those are the kinds of issues that, when you start working on localization, you might not be thinking of. It's not just a matter of, oh, we'll just replace the text. You're right, like the size of the text, even the types of languages, those all can have an impact, and those all can have incur extra development costs. The simple translation of the text, and also the integration of the text inside of the game.
Okay. So actually, I don't know the answer, so I was kind of curious too. So like, for example, obviously, you didn't do the translation of, because you said you don't speak the languages. So is it very much kind of like you wanted to do this translation to these languages, or is it very much like it was kind of like, because obviously you have a publisher to help you? Is it kind of like, hey, let's get a push in these regions, or is it like, no, I want to make this as accessible as possible, even though you're very obviously limited on your bandwidth?
Everything that was made on tech support, I would say I signed with my publisher Iceberg Interactive in September, I think, September of
Okay.
last year, and everything that happened from that moment forward that wasn't, I guess, direct design was very much a collaboration and a conversation between me and Iceberg. I think that's been one of the big success story of this entire release of that game. And I'm not just saying that to, I'm it might come off as, oh well, I'm trying to suck up a little bit to my publisher and whatnot. And to be fair, like if the relationship had not gone well, like I wouldn't mention it as much, I think. But it did go well. It went super well. And one of the great things that conversation, that relationship is that it was a dialogue. It was very much a teamwork between me and them. And we kind of figured out, okay, we have this game. Where can we offer this game? What can we do with this game to elevate it, to make it even better? They have afforded there are extra features that are available, extra secret features that are available, that I wouldn't have time otherwise to work on. Because I was working with them, I could include those. The localization, we had that conversation, and because this is kind of a management game, we expected that in the German market, this would very much appeal to them, as well as targeting the Chinese market. Like, those are all conversations that we had, as opposed to here is a mandate and here is them telling me, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I think that's one of the great things that I took away from this, I feel like I was kind of very lucky to sign with them. I don't know what it would have been with other people, and it might have been just as great with other publishers. But yeah, just the fact that we managed to have not just a smooth relationship and an ongoing dialogue, because it is a dialogue. It is a, conversation is super important, and we were talking basically every week, every 2 weeks, depending on the workload. The fact that everything went really smoothly, I'm really happy with what happened with Iceberg on that front. So and it continues post launch as well. Like we I'm going to PAX East in 2 days. I'm going to be there thanks to them. So that's, those are all opportunities that are great for me, that are great for the game, that wouldn't have been otherwise possible. So yeah,
Okay.
it's been just super great.
Nice. And for the record, I wasn't saying you weren't trying to be accessible before. I was just more making a the general thing of obviously you have the inherent you are a person. You can only work 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And trust me, I believe you probably work close to the 24 hours in a day. But at a certain point, you're yeah, you need the 20 minutes of nap at some point, and the stuff falls through the cracks. So
Yeah, but that is true, but also I kind of tried to find a publisher fairly late into production. Usually I think a lot of times you find a publisher eh, earlier during production, early to midway through. And because I was so late in production, like a lot of that stuff was already available. There was some elements that were missing that I really wanted to add, that I did add, but the core gameplay was there. Most of the story was implemented and written and all that. So I think that also helped with my time management when it came to adding those features as well.
okay, so back to I think I want to go back to the launch for a second. So the launch, so obviously as we talk about got a decent amount more press than normal. I'm assuming more than normal games because I feel like I actually saw the game mentioned even outside of you between Jove and Tom, but just in general circles. I saw a thing on PC Gamer, I believe, Rock Paper Shotgun, some decently notable places were talking about and reviewing your game. Do you back that to the publisher end, or do you think slowly as you keep doing this longer and longer, you get more of a name and reputation for yourself with your games?
I can honestly say that this was a big part of this was the publisher. I wish I could take credit, but I definitely can't. Just to give a little bit of history, I started marketing the game fairly early in development, and in around February or March of last year, I started doing some outreach to press. I had a trailer created, an announcement trailer, started reaching out to press, and I can there was very little return and very little um, interest, I guess. But it's the kind of situation where there are so many games, it is so difficult to get through. It doesn't matter if your game is great. It doesn't matter if I think tech support is a pretty unique premise, and people completely agree. Um, the success rate was just not there, and once I had Iceberg on board, and they started we the game. We kind of did a relaunch of the trailer that I had produced months before, and this time it was picked up. It was picked up all over the place. We got a Rock Paper Shotgun article on it in September, and we got all of these other places that were genuinely interested in the game. And yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting situation because I feel like I did both. I had the try without the publisher, and I had to try with the publisher, and it was day and night. It was completely day and night. I know that Iceberg also did other approaches for marketing the game. It was more than press outreach. I know there were some Facebook ads. There were other stuff. We're going to conventions. It was announced in different places. I won an award. I won an award in November for best indie game pitch, and was nominated for best narrative game and best most innovative game. So I mean, the game definitely could stand by itself, but the reality is that without a megaphone, no one is still hearing you. So that's one of that is the most important thing about the reason why I was trying to find a publisher. It was for that marketing push. It was for that ability to have a megaphone and be able to reach the people who otherwise might not have heard about the game, even though they might be interested.
And that's that, and I agree with you a lot of stuff, and it's very interesting. So, do you feel at least like now that like you had this extra push at one point, do you feel like more confident going into your next game of like at least you now have a better audience, at least a better understanding how to do this kind of stuff, or do you feel like from this going on, you're like, I understand now the support I need of a publisher very much so. Even like you have some of your own thing, and the smaller publishers be like, I need this at least extra hand from time to time.
I fully intend for my next game to have a publisher. I
Okay.
feel like so I'm not at liberty to discuss numbers, but there
Hmm.
was definitely an investment made into the game through all of the things that I mentioned: marketing, ads, PR, ongoing PR, all of that stuff. And if you have the resources to do it yourself, that's great. Then absolutely. Like I'm not. I'm actually. I. It's not just the fact that the matter of having a publisher specifically. It's the things that the publisher brings to the table. It's those resources. If you have those resources from another perspective, bless you. If you have those resources from another source, then that's great. You can capitalize on that and make your game shine from your own side. But in my case, I didn't. So because I
Hmm.
didn't, that's why it's the equivalent of finding an investor, except instead of requiring direct money and whatnot, you those are the resources that you're looking for.
Okay, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So one of the other things kind of I was curious on then, so like the game has positive reviews. So now you get to I call it at least ironically called the press tour. At least you get to go for the weekend to PAX East. What is it like to you at this point? Like something like PAX East, for example. Like is your goal now just being like at least continue the momentum of the game, or is your goal to like what is kind of like your outlook now of like okay the game's out, and is there like some level of like how do I keep this going?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. A lot of keeping the momentum of the game going, keeping interest up. Obviously, for most dev will know by now that when you release a game, a lot of your sales come from day one and week one of your launch, and then the sales numbers drop dramatically following that. And I think it's important to kind of keep that interest up and keep, even if people are not directly immediately buying the game, if you can keep people coming back and keeping interested in having them say, well, maybe I'll buy it when it's on sale or something, and wish listing it, whatever, keeping engaged with it. Um, I think that that's always going to be a positive. We are going to be launching some free updates. We have a free update announced with leaderboards. It's called the Endless Challenge, and basically, it kind of cuts out the story mode of the game and focuses on completing as many tickets as possible, as fast as possible. There's going to be 3 modes there, including a time mode, a mode where you try to earn as much money as possible within a limited amount of time, and a mode where first mistake makes you lose, basically. So we have that in store, and we're not launching it immediately. We're still testing it. We're still making sure that everything is in proper shape before we do that. But that's one of the other things that we are going to be talking about and showcasing during the conventions that we'll be attending. And that's one of the key aspects of a game, I think, is that a game isn't just released and immediately forgotten post launch. We're still supporting it. We're still adding bug fixes. We're listening to what people are saying, and adding cool new features afterwards as well. So yeah, just keeping interest up through all the means, really.
That's very interesting. So, like your new mode then. So I'm very curious then, because like instantly when you describe that mode, it's very much the opposite of your original sales pitch of the game. Of your original thing is like it's tech support, but wait, there's more. Now like your add-on is like, no, let's play the tech support up. So, at what point does something like that like? And I think it's a cool idea, and I'm not knocking you for this idea, and I think it's like really cool free update. But like, at what point are you concerned that like you almost like going back on the thing that made the game really original, or like kind of like it's kind of like the commercial meets the artistic at that point? And like,
Sure.
what is kind of like that line of like, okay, I can add this thing, but like at what point, or is it like just adding? And I'm not saying you're doing this, but like it always feels like some people feel like, at what point you're just adding content for content's sake instead
Sure.
of like all that.
Well, I from my perspective, I'm always of the opinion that the most important thing is that people get the experience that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working on tech support, you're right. Tech support is a very story-driven game. It's the story of the player who is a newly hired tech support specialist working for Quasar, who is a global telecom company. They are getting attacked by Indigo, this hacktivist group. And the player kind of chooses, do they want to side with Indigo? Do they want to side with Quasar, or do something else? There's the police gets involved. Your brother needs money. So there's all of these threads that the player can pursue. But at the same time, the player can choose to do none of that. The player can choose to say, you know what? I don't care about any of these people. You guys are crazy. I'm just going to be doing my job as a tech support specialist, and I'm going to be the best tech support specialist that I can be. And the story mode accounts for that. And so I don't think that adding a leaderboard mode actually goes against the general premise of the game in that sense. And even I would say that even though there's a lot of the story mode, it's a very involved thing in the game. The ability to, even without the leaderboards, to challenge yourself, to try to complete as many tickets as possible during a day, to kind of really get at the core of what people want and the problems that they're having, and managing 3 or 4 different customers at the same time. Like, that is an exhilarating experience, even if you're not going for the story mode. So I think I think that a mode like the leaderboards is still emphasizing it's a different aspect of the game, but it's not a lesser aspect of the game. It's very much something that was worked on all throughout development and made sure to make as great as possible. I can even add that so this is a little behind the scenes thing for all the listeners out there. At some point during development, there was going to be some internal leaderboards in the game. So basically, the game, I was thinking about making the game real time. Right now, it's kind of day by day, and you complete your day, and before you start and after you finish, you kind of have this cooldown period where the player can kind of check out his email, do all of these other tasks. But for a while, I was playing with the idea that maybe this was always on, and you were receiving emails in real time, you were receiving customers in real time, and during that period, I had a leaderboard mode, which was in the single player mode, which was against fictional employees of Kazar. So this was actually something that I had considered. It ended up being cut because it didn't really fit whatever, when I reverted back to the day by day system. It didn't really fit that approach. But yeah, I had considered that, and I wanted to kind of add that challenge element to the game. So I'm actually really happy to be adding endless, as well as other stuff that people will have to stay tuned to discover. Yeah.
I do appreciate how you spent the last 5 minutes trying to pitch everyone on why being a tech support agent is the most fun part of the game. Let's be honest, 5 years ago, you've been like, I would never sell someone on that. But no, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, so the funny thing about tech support, so it's true, like, thematically, it is about you solving other people's problems. In real life, it's a very...
I think we called it a therapy simulator last time.
Yeah, in real life, it's a pretty harsh job. You're dealing with a lot of angry customers and whatnot. But, there is a little bit of if you look beyond that and kind of break apart the elements, there's a little bit of detective work there. There's a little bit of psychology with the customer. I think a lot of it comes down to how you end up perceiving the game and perceiving your interactions with the people that you will encounter in the game. I'm definitely very biased towards it because obviously
Really?
I made the game. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Which most game devs are like my game sucks, don't buy it. So like,
yeah, exactly.
There's the other end of bias than most game devs.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, which was putting a lot of emphasis on that detective aspect, that kind of figuring out the problems of the customer, interrogating the customer, using the tools that you have available. You don't have a magnifying glass, but you do have a remote connection to their phone and kind of checking out the information on their phone. Like, all of these tools become available, and kind of I think because all of those tools exist, because it's not just, you ask someone and then you send them you give them an answer and then you move on to the next thing. Because you have the customer profiles, you have all of the warranties, you have the shifting rules, like those, I think, really work well in a more challenge system, even when you start removing the story mode.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's just the whole irony of that one. But yeah, so I feel like this has been interesting retrospective, kind of on like what it's been like to release it. So here's the question that you knew was probably coming, and I'm gonna ask you anyway. What is, like,
all right,
looking back, what is your kind of like regret of going through this dev cycle, and what do you kind of wish you could take back, but like you really can't?
My regret of this?
Yeah, like like you've been working on this game for a while. Like, you for sure have these moments or decisions you're like, why'd I make that? But I can't really take it back.
Sure. I mean, I feel like, obviously, hindsight is always 20/20, and you kind of the localization thing, like, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and it had a big impact on people's experiences. And I definitely do not regret having the localized game. I love the fact that it is reaching more people. That is exactly what I wanted. I'm loving, like, people are enjoying the game, and that is always great to see. But it definitely sucks that at launch the experience was subpar, to say the least. Um, because in PR speak, we're not allowed to say that it was terrible. Um, it was, and it's not like, quite frankly, um, the feedback that we were getting was mixed. Like, some people were enjoying it, some people were kind of more getting caught up with the localization issues. I think I kind of wish that we had done a better job on that, and I think that localization above everything else might have been one of the bigger lessons that we've learned. It's difficult because it is so, in a way, out of our control, because it is a language that we don't speak. So we're, any time that we're receiving something that is that we don't necessarily understand, we have to go on the good faith that it is working as intended. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I think moving forward, that's one thing that I would put more emphasis on, and kind of really dig deep to. The last thing that I want to take from this is, well, localization was hard, therefore I'm not going to do it. Like, no, that's not the right lesson. The right lesson is localization was hard. We need to do a harder job, a better job at providing the people who buy the game the best experience possible at launch. And we've been I've continued sending out patches. There was one that was put out last week, actually, in Thursday of last week, which covered a lot of issues that people were having. Like, we are continuing to do that, but obviously that's not how we want to do it, right? Like, we want to have the best experience right out of the box, right out of the gate, and yeah, so it was a learning experience, and we're hoping to have just a huge improvement on that next time around.
So do you think, like, when you pick the next time is, like, one of the examples in my head, obviously, which obviously hindsight 2020 is, start it even sooner than you thought you needed to start it? Like, this time, if, like, in the theory was, if I started a month early this time, next time you start it 6 months early or whatever, it's probably one of the big chunks.
I mean,
because writing changes in games too, and I understand that's probably part of the issue also.
Yeah, exactly. We can't, actually, that's actually a great point. Writing does, not only does writing change, but even post launch, there has been extra text that was added. There were some elements that were confusing people, so we did change some text. We added some text in some instances, and that does mean that each time we have to add localization for every extra element. I think those are things that people don't really realize. Devs don't realize, even as they're working on the localization themselves. It doesn't stop at launch necessarily, especially when you're trying to make the best game possible, and you're trying to address the issues that people are having. You might not have a choice but to change text. So yes, localization does have to happen at the end of towards the tail end of the dev cycle. But that being said, I think maybe getting more testing in with native speakers would have brought in some issues that we otherwise did not find ourselves.
No, and that makes sense. I do a lot of app dev stuff currently, and, like, trust me, there are times when we're like, the client sent changes over, and we're like, but, like, we only have a week, and we need to get translation, and, like, how do we test? Like, there are those moments like, people, like, forget how much, like, down a pipeline, like, when one thing changes, it changes, like, 10 things.
Yep.
And, like, especially when you have games with thousands upon thousands of lines of text, it also magnifies that problem really quickly. But yeah, God. So, I think kind of to wrap fully wrap this up, then I think one of the things I think, and I've always thought this is very interesting, the way you do stuff is a good chunk. I don't want to say majority, but a good chunk of your like game development's like public on Twitch, right?
Yep.
So how do you find ways to like still keep stuff secret and like twisted when like especially towards the end when you have to work on like late game stuff, for example, or just kind of tell your audience like, screw it, I'm sorry, this is all spoiler warnings, kind of.
So, I actually am notorious for having multiple projects going on at the same time,
Right.
and that's actually one of the ways that I end up helping keep things under wraps. There are things that I worked on only behind the scenes that the Twitch audience never saw. And there were periods where I was working on stuff that there was nothing that I could stream. So in those instances, I would stream other projects instead. But yeah, I do try to, you know, I've loosened up a little bit about spoilers over time. I think the worry oftentimes is that if people are faced with spoilers, they're not going to buy the game. But what I've discovered is that the people who are in the stream day after day and watching and really interested in the game, like they might, even though they might be exposed to all of those spoilers, they're also really engaged with the game, and they love the game. They it's my baby, but it's their baby too. They saw it grow up from zero into this awesome result. And I think they also, a lot of them are looking forward to playing it and experiencing it. It's kind of like having a puzzle, and then you only get to see the pieces one piece at a time each time. So yes, you do get to see all of the pieces, but the fun of puzzles is to assemble it. It's not necessarily to know what is the image. Usually we know what the image is. It's to assemble it and put it together. And I think that the Twitch audience who watches the development of games, that's what they're connecting with. They are looking forward to playing the game, even if they know a lot of what's coming down the pipeline. And even if they know, like, the game has so many twists and turns and branches that even they didn't know all of the story threads. So yeah, there's always more to discover because as we develop the game, as I work on the game, I'm working on very specific elements. So it's difficult to have a global idea of what the game is when you're working on, this button isn't in the correct position, or this is crashing when I'm doing this, so I'm just reloading the game 12 times and looking at this very specific thing, as opposed to having the actual proper experience for the game.
And that to me is a very good description of like when people like the example everyone points to now is like a lot of stuff is like, well, this is ruining single player games. I'm like, no. A lot of the issues right now is kind of like you don't make it with like games that go from like A to B. I feel like is the thing that's dying out right now, and like your game's very much you end up at B and you start at A, but you don't go A to B. And I think those are the games that are like very much thriving or finding an audience right now because of kind of like you can ruin a string of it, but you can't ruin the entire journey. And also, go on.
I agree with that. I think that a streamer who streams gameplay and a streamer who streams development is not the same thing, because when you stream gameplay, you're providing that linear experience throughout the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're streaming, you're only showing bits and pieces which are very spread out, because that's kind of the nature of game development. You're not showing the appropriate context. I do agree that having a more open narrative structure does help single player games. That being said, so I will say this, from a purely AAA publisher perspective, I definitely understand their perspective, because I do think that AAA single player AAA titles compared to their multiplayer and more open counterparts might be having some issues. It's tough because from our perspective, it's easy to look at it from a very passionate perspective of, oh, we love games, we love great games. I love single player games. Like I loved Prey. I can name a myriad of different games that I absolutely enjoyed.
I get it. We'll send you the "I swear I'm a gamer" T-shirt. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
but the thing is, it's a business as well.
Right.
And when the game doesn't perform well or underperforms, then at the end of the day, if it costs the same price to make a game that makes 10 times as much as it could, well, from a money standpoint, like that's kind of the that becomes a no-brainer because it is a business from their perspective, and it's a harsh business. A lot of companies shut down as well, so I completely understand their perspective as well.
No, and that makes a lot of sense, and I understand what you're saying, and I think we probably mostly agree on that stuff too. But yeah,
it's tough because ultimately, this kind of business stuff is not the customer's problem,
mm-hmm.
and I firmly believe that. Like it's always difficult for me to say, oh well, I couldn't do this because I don't know, I was moving, so I was busy, or I had other stuff in my life. Like, doesn't matter. None of that matters from the customer's perspective. They bought the game. It's not the experience that they wanted or whatever it is. And they deserve to have the best experience possible. So it's kind of being torn between these two worlds of, well, it's a business, and we're all trying to make a living. We're all trying to afford, not just the cost of living, but also being afford to the next game project as it comes along. And we also want to offer the best experience possible. So it's kind of, there's a little bit of a dichotomy there in a field that is filled with passion. Arguably video games are more passionate, are a field that might be more passionate than most other artistic fields. I think gamers get involved so deeply with franchises and with brands that it's kind of a unique thing, and it's tough to accept that it's also a business, I guess.
No, and I completely do agree with that, and it's very interesting because like something like film, like people who passion film kind of care about the film, like how to make a film, but something like film, I've always heard a story is kind of like, it's interesting because like the idea of game development is I'm recreating the film camera every single time, so inherently it's a new story every time. Where like if I understand how to make a film, there might be cool stories in the journey of making a film, but I roughly understand the development of a film. Where games, games, you talk about like the puzzle piece analogy from playing a game. To me, the example of making a game is trying to complete a puzzle which I have no clue what it looks like. Nor do I know how many pieces are in it.
Yeah, and that's actually a really great point, because film, you write your script. It's a very structured system. You write your script and then you shoot it, and then there is the editing. There's the editing phase, and some movies are saved in the editing. Star Wars is a notorious example. For people who don't know, go check out editing in Star Wars, because the first cuts of that movie, the original Star Wars, the 77 version, the first cuts were subpar to say the least. But when it comes to games, oftentimes we have an idea of what it's going to be, and we kind of we have our game design documents, and we have our structure, and we know all of that, and then we start integrating it, and then we have new ideas, or the elements that we thought were fun are not as fun, or one aspect of the game turns out to be way more fun than we expected, and suddenly the whole perspective of the game shifts into that, to kind of emphasize that one gameplay element. Game design game development is a big exploration process leading up to even the end of the game, where we're just, even as creators, we are discovering our game, we are discovering what are the best aspects of it, and kind of trying to present that at the forefront of the experience at that point. And we can do that because we have the luxury of changing things. We have the luxury of changing code. We have the luxury of changing assets, moving assets along, shifting level design. Like, all of those things can be more easily changed than on a movie, where once it's filmed, it's done, it's in the can, and you can reshoot, but that becomes a lot more expensive at that point.
Yeah, good point. So, I would like to thank you for joining me for this fun conversation about game dev, your journey, and your game. Remember, you can find tech support, I know, on Steam, but basically every place else, I assume, coming to Switch at some point in the future.
I think for people who want to check out tech support, go to techsupportgame.com, and you'll have all the info that you need to go out and go buy the game. Support your local indie game dev, as local as in Montreal, and if you're not from Montreal, then local as of planet Earth. Yeah.
That's when you're supposed to get your can and kind of shake it a little bit, for food. Also, I appreciate how you completely ignored my coming to Switch soon, Mike. Good. I'm glad you're used to that already. Remember?
Yeah.
You can check out the show every couple weeks at the SW Show on podcast feeds of your choice. We're on Spotify, iTunes. I don't know what Android does. No one really uses Android, so whatever that podcasting store is, no one really knows. Others, remember, you can find me at Twitter at Mikey_Brony. I believe you're at Dragon Slumber.
Dragon _ Slumber. Yep.
Remember to follow him on Twitter. He does have 3,000 Twitter followers. Let's get it up to 3,001, folks. Come on.
Yeah. And I try to respond to everyone. I love, for me, I love the one-on-one conversations, and I've met some fans of the game. I love just getting into this one-on-one and getting to know people and just doing all of that. So please do contact me, and find me on all of the sources: Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Twitch. During streaming, come drop by, say hi. I love to chat with people.
Also, he did have the best marketing ever, I still stick with, when Facebook went down for tech support, and it was just perfect. I'm just going to say that was a perfect tweet for when Facebook was down. But again, I'd like to thank you, because I believe this is roughly during when you would be streaming if you were. So Your audience is very upset with us, I understand. We're stealing you. And again, thank you for joining us.
They'll be very understanding.
Well, yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out, everyone.